Hi everyone, how's it going? Look like it's a beautiful day out. So we're going to share more information about how the US can benefit from helping Aptera. So let's get into this. All right, welcome back to my channel. It's good to have you here. So we're going to talk about more ways that United States can be helped and the world, and that fact by Aptera coming online and being in business. And last time we talked was when I was talking about how they only spent about a sixth amount of money that the OEMs would spend just to get a prototype on the road. Talked about how they only spent $100 million, but the OEMs would basically spend about $600 million. So that saves in cost and money. And how are they able to do that? Well, this is basically revolves around their production. So let's talk about that.
This is all of the structural stuff that you need in order to make a car. These actually, there's only a couple of pieces here, but these are all made in one fell swoop. They just come down. This is SMC, sheet molded compound, and it comes down and it comes back up, and for the most part, you've got a finished product, one push, all done. But this one here, this may have more, I'm not sure, but what I'm looking at here is amazing, an amazing amount of construction, and it's all in one gigantic piece.
The largest carbon fiber SMC part in the world.
And there you go. So,
and you end up with something that looks like an injection molded part. You got these facets to hold wires and wire tracks, and you have embedded fasteners. And the cool thing about how the parts relate to each other is they all key together. So you know you've got keys that bring the parts together like Legos. So you don't need these huge fancy alignment robotics, or laser alignment, anything. They just go together.
Well, you don't need 2x4s and sledgehammers to make it fit either. So that's kind of like one of the things I like about carbon fiber. And for those who've watched what happened when we took apart the BMW i3, which was also carbon fiber, that was the one thing I said. Every car build is perfect, and it'll stay that way forever.
These main parts that Sandy and Chris are talking about, the body in black, these are the main structure parts for the Aptera. And he said that they're using carbon fiber sheet molded compound to put these together. And once they're stamped and put together, that's it. They're finished. They're a finished product. Only has to be done once. And what's so amazing about this is the parts that he's showing there, that's only 4 pieces that has been put together. Just 4 pieces. Those 4 black pieces right there. That's what's being used to put this one body in black together. And so you don't need a bunch of robots to weld anything. And you don't need, any type of laser robots to help align everything up. They just come together like a Lego. And then there's adhesive that goes in between the parts. And then that adhesive, practically, it bonds the two materials together, almost like welding, because that bond becomes stronger or as strong as the material that's being bonded together. With the manufacturing companies, you don't get that. There's so much more that needs to be done. And also with the parts that they put together, the 4 parts that Sandy and Chris was talking about, all the other exterior panels go and they're connected to it, as well as the chassis. And then, of course, the batteries in the chassis and so on and so forth. But what the OEMs, what they have to do, you can see that they have to, when they're putting the body panels together, first they have to start out and they actually have to make the panels. They take that by taking rolled steel or rolled up aluminum, and then they go ahead and they have to flatten them out. Once they flatten them out, they can use these machines to go ahead and press and stamp them in the shape they want them in. And then after they do that, they cut them in the precise precision that they need to be in, and then they can stamp them into place how they want them to be shaped. After they do all that, they go ahead and they just stack them up after those are finished, and then they roll them out, and the process isn't finished there. They need all these robots to weld them together, rivet them together, to bond them together, and look at all the robots that they need to do that. And then the pieces basically just start slowly coming together. And then after that, they can either spot weld, which you see here, and they have to glue them together. And then you got the side panels, and you got the bottom part of the vehicle, and you got the top part of the vehicle coming together. And all that takes time, and it takes extra money to get all these robots working in sync and bonding it right there and riveting it in place, welding it. So Aptera doesn't have to do all that. So that saved them so much money, and you don't need the robots. I believe they have hundreds of robots to perform this work that they're doing. Aptera doesn't need that. Since they don't need all these robots to perform all that, then they can do what was brought out earlier, and that is they can basically break even by just only making or producing 6,000 vehicles a year. And that is crazy. That is insane. Just 6,000 vehicles to break even.
People are very happy about your projection, the 6,000 per year break even thing.
Yep.
Can you speak to that?
Yeah, the 6,000 break even is part of the financial model. I don't really think it's gonna, that's not gonna be the target that we're going for. The pre-orders obviously dictate that we're gonna be selling a whole lot more than that.
Yeah.
We were asked to build, a base case, where would we get to that point? A lot of factors go into it. It's gonna be a ton of work to get to that point, but I don't think we're really gonna be working towards that model. Personally, I think we're gonna be more towards the...
So there you go. Once again, 6,000 vehicles to break even. And Aptera, oh gosh, that is just so amazing. We know that the OEMs, they have to make several 100,000 vehicles, probably a couple of 100,000 vehicles to make a profit. And here, all Aptera has to do is make 12,000 vehicles, and they'll make a big profit. According to my figures, let's see. Let's say if they sell every vehicle for $30,000. And they make 12,000 vehicles. So let's see, 6,000 times 30,000, that's $180 million. And of course, we know that the good bit of that money is going to go out for paying their employees and operating costs and so on and so forth. But still, what a big difference. How that can pretty much benefit the U.S., where if this company is making so much money, of course, there's going to be a lot of job openings. And also, since they don't need that many robots or that many employees, then of course the facility that they're working in, the factory, is going to be much smaller than your average manufacturing facility for the OEMs, or like what the OEMs use. And actually, that's what we're going to talk about in the next video, so y'all stay tuned. My patrons are going to give you a shout out. Thank you guys very much. You keep me going. Oh gosh, I do really appreciate all the help that you do provide. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just can't say that enough. And of course, if you're new here, hit the like, ring the bell, subscribe, and you'll catch all my videos when they come out. But we'll catch you in the next video. You guys take care. You have a very good day. Bye-bye.